signs in the sun, moon, and stars. AMPHITRITE, Queen of the Sea. The coming of the beast out of the sea. Revelation 13:1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise out of the sea. Let's dig deeper. First thing that we're going to do is go to the celestialword.org. Here we are on the explanation of the planisphere. This is the Dendera. They're going over the Aries chart for the deacons, which are the minor constellations associated with the Aries constellation. First thing that we see is Cassiopeia. The meanings: a female figure under which are the hieroglyphic signs denoted a female, an oval or egg, a half circle or a hill. For Beth, a daughter, according to Albumazar, this deacon was anciently called the daughter of splendor. The Noetic roots traced by the Hebrew, this Cassiopeia, the throned woman, is meaning set up or set or appointed, as in Genesis 4:25. As we go down, we will see the second deacon of Aries is Cetus, the sea monster or the sea serpent, the enemy. We see here as we go through the words, the enemy will be subdued in triumph. We will have victory over the enemy. Here are the associated verses: Exodus 15:1-21, Genesis 41:32. He here figured as a monstrous head trodden underfoot by the swine, the natural enemy of the serpent, united to which is the wolf, whose name signifies he cometh. The hawk, also a natural enemy of the serpent, crowned with the mortar, the emblem of bruising, is over this figure. It corresponds to the head of Medusa carried by Perseus. Triumph established, swine who turns mortar to bruise Medusa trodden under. The last and third deacon of Aries is Perseus, he who breaks the bruises, who fights, the figure of a man with a quadrupled appended as to a girdle, signifying this cometh by the word. He who fights, who destroys and subdues. And you can see here all of the associated verses. We're going to go to Stellarium. Here we are in Stellarium. 8/29/2019. In our last video, we showed you 11/28, and on that date was the retrograde of Pisces in the southern fish. Here on 8/29/2019 is the retrograde in the northern fish. On our last video, we saw that Vesta was marking the head of Cetus. Uranus, also viewed as Enoch, was marking the head of Cetus. And Amphitrite was marking Pisces, the bands of Pisces. To me, this message of the sea goddess in Pisces, the fish, is a great sign to the church. So what I'm going to do is go over my notes. On 11/28/2019, we have Amphitrite marking the southern fish. This is a message to the sleeping church. The Pisces bands are tied to Cetus. Cetus is the beast out of the sea. If we look back at our timing, we will notice something very, very strange. At the time that Amphitrite goes into retrograde in the southern fish is approximately when COVID-19 was first found in China, based on the latest data. And I believe that this was a timely message to the church of what was to come from the beast out of the sea. For we know the messages that are in the heavens will always be a forerunner to what will come on the earth. And sure enough, we have seen this play out in the heavens as the church, in my opinion, is the one feeling the greatest distress from what is happening with this pandemic. So the first thing that we want to do is look at Amphitrite being the queen of the sea, giving the message to the fish about the coming of Cetus, the great dragon of the sea. Vesta was there at the head, and at this time, just under 3 months earlier, we see Amphitrite going into retrograde in the middle of the Pisces bands. Again, a great message. We're going to go here to Heavenspeak, blogspot.com. Two fishes swimming in different directions, tied together at the tails with a band. The band is also tied to Cetus, the sea monster. Aries has his legs crossing the band between the fishes and the monster. Again, we have a type of the church in the fishes. The fish has always been associated with the church, and early believers were called Pisces. Some of the star names are Okta, the united; Al-Samaka, the upheld, in Syriac. It is Nuno, the fish prolonged, the idea of prosperity or successive generations. In Coptic, It is Pi, Kot, Orion, the fish, congregation, the company of the coming prince. These fish are none other than the pictorial representation of the true church. The two fishes could represent just the multitudes of fishes, but more probably represent the church before and after Christ, both stuck in Satan's domain, but both protected by Aries. They are both God's chosen ones and members of the great sheepfold.